Heart of America Media Day. I'm Assistant Athletic Director Philip Dowden. I'm joined by Head Football Coach Chuck Hepola. And Coach, thanks for joining us on Media Day.
Yeah, I appreciate it. It's been a lot of fun.
So we're going to do something a little bit different on our Media Day here at Evangel. We're leaving campus. We're actually going to get a cup of coffee and kind of chat through the 2019 football season. And Coach, you go through summer workouts. You get all the kids back on campus about a week ago. You go through a couple practices. What's it like kind of going through the summer where you don't see the kids all summer long to kind of all of a sudden they're all back and they're ready to go?
Yeah, obviously them getting back on campus, they bring that young energy, so they take some of us older guys and provide a little bit of energy for us. And so it's always fun to have our whole team back, together, our veteran guys plus our newcomers that we've signed, and then watch and see how they gel. So we're fortunate to see quite a few of them in the summertime at least, whether it be lifting or whether it be in an OTA or something like that. But it's always fun once the guys all get here, and then we can just try to get that Evangel culture rolling.
So you've got almost 130 kids on your team this year. Those numbers are definitely up from what you've had in your first 3 seasons. So heading into season 4, having kind of all those kids, you look across your roster, you've got a lot of kids that have played a lot of football for you in just 3 quick years that are coming back. Who are some captains that are going to play some vital roles and have kind of stepped up into those leadership roles for you guys?
Yeah, really our team captains, which is voted on by our team, by their peers. And those are guys that really show our leadership for our team, but also those guys get out on the field and they've been really excellent performers for us. Started with Cade Kelly. Cade Kelly is a captain, plays center for us, is a 4-year captain, so this will be a 4-year starter for him. So he's played a lot of football games on Saturdays. And we've got a tackle named Derek Johnson, so he's a first-year captain, but there's 2 captains right there at the offensive line. You've got Micah Daniels, which is an all-conference safety that's returning for his senior year as a captain. We've got Dede Little. Dede Little is a first-year captain for us, playing in the tight end position. Has played a lot of football on Saturday. You got Darius Lee. Darius Lee is again a captain for us, and at the running back position has played lots of games, and it's been fun watching him get out there and him perform. And and then we'll end up having a 7th captain that will actually the captains will select who that is, and during fall camp they'll be able to name that 7th captain. And it's just a excellent group of guys. It's a group of guys that are really fun to work with, and I'm excited to see the things they'll do on the field.
One of the biggest things I took away from that is you got 2 offensive linemen that are captains, an upperclassman and kind of maybe a middle-classman, if you will, but both have played, like you said, a lot of football on Saturdays for the Crusaders. Looking past those guys, though, you've got a lot of guys up front on the offensive side of the ball that have played a lot of downs, played a lot of snaps for you. How excited are you to see some of those guys that are coming back? And you've got a couple all-conference performers on that offensive line that are coming back for you guys this year.
Yeah, offensive line-wise, we've got roughly about 10 guys that have played throughout the year last year, guys that either started or played a significant role. On the defensive front, we've got, I would say, probably about 7 or 8 guys that played quite a bit, whether or not they started or played. And then we've got quite a few players from each position. But, man, when the game starts up front, you got to make sure that you have a great offensive line. You got to make sure that you have a great defensive line. And then just a collection of those groups just working together, rowing together, pulling in the same direction and getting our team to go in the right direction. It's fun to have those offensive line up there just taking care of business. So.
You mentioned 2 more captains, kind of as we talk about your skill positions a little bit. Cameron Hardesty, a quarterback that's a captain.
You know what? I neglected Cam, and Cam actually plays. He's even my position player, and I neglected to mention him as one of our captains. So, man, shame on me for that. So sorry about that. I probably had too many hits to the head, apparently. So, but Cam Hardesty, man, sorry about that. Quarterback for us, captain, has been a 2-year captain for us. And what a great leader, what a great young man. And with him and Zeke Kawhi and guys like that, at the quarterback position that's played an awful lot. man, it's nice to know that you got, first of all, you start with the guys up front, but then as you work your way back, then you've got skill players at all these different positions that have played quite a bit. So really it just comes down to just getting a lot of guys that have played a lot on Saturday and just get out there and let's all perform and do our thing.
I wasn't going to do anything James Corden-wise and make us sing. I thought just talking football, we were going to be able to talk about things we do really well and know. But anyways, no. Well, keeping with kind of some of those skill positions, Coach, you did mention actually Darius Lee, a running back.
Yep.
But you've got quite a bit of depth coming back at the running back position this year.
Starting with Darius Lee, like we mentioned, and of course you've got Ben Friend, who Ben Friend has played a lot of football for us. He's also been a starter for us. Really big back, but a big back that can really run. We had a young man named Nikos Orpeza that has transferred in from SBU. Fabian Cuverly, which is another senior for us that has played a lot on Saturday. Alan Taylor III, who's played on the field. We've got Yaya Like, we got Bryce Numa. We've got quite a few guys that have been able to have some time out there. A young man named Sammy Robinson that transferred in. And so, again, really, really excellent running back core. But first of all, they're great kids, but they've been out on the field performing, and it's been fun to watch them play so far.
Moving outside on your perimeter a little bit on the offensive side of the ball, you've got a couple guys that do come back, but they maybe didn't have kind of the name recognition, at least at the beginning of the season. Jansen Ackland was up there and really made his name kind of on the special teams, but had some big catches during the season. How do you compliment him, and how do you kind of build upon a position that was really senior laden last year?
Yep. Yeah, you're right. Jansen was Jansen's, first of all, he's a quiet young man, doesn't say a whole lot. And so, you get out on the field sometimes and you line up against him and you think, well, he's kind of quiet. He's not going to, he might not do a whole lot. And then all of a sudden he gets out there and he just makes plays. I mean, all that guy does is make plays. And so it's great to have him returning. You also got a young man named Sam Buckner, one of the fastest guys on the team that, hopefully he can get out there and play a lot. Will Jackson is a kid that's a young man that's played a lot. He's changed a couple of positions at the receiver position. We've got Josh Tips, who was a transfer that came in the spring from SBU, who's a really great size. Yeah, has great size and length and can really run. Alex Ordaz is another young man that has come in and actually as a transfer, and he's made strides as well. You've got a couple of guys named Josh Denny, Chance Hepola. Those are some guys at our H position that have played. Well, Chance has played on special teams, so he actually was out there on the field last year playing on special teams, so he's going to get the opportunity to get a chance out there at the receiver position. Of course, Josh Denny as well, who redshirted last year, but Josh can really run, very athletic. So we got quite a few guys, and then there's quite a few more guys, to be quite honest with you, but we're really pleased with how the wide receiver core has been playing. Coach Brandon Staley's done a really good job coaching them so far, and so it's been fun watching them gel, and we'll just see if they can just get out there and play the way we expect them to.
Kind of briefly touched on it, a position that's really important to you, and so much so that you and I and some of our broadcasters, that when they come in, you talk about how important special teams are just in the game of football, and you really bring an emphasis to that. You've got some familiar names with Ruel Avila coming back to punt for us, and then kind of the kicking position, a little bit unknown, but kind of talk a little bit about the special teams for 2019.
Yeah, we take a lot of pride in our special teams. We feel like that's our extra, edge that we have over other teams, and that's what we sell to our team. And our team believes it, goes out there and performs it. But on the kicking side, we got Justin Weber, and that is coming in from Branson, and Noah Gibson. In fact, both of our kickers are from Branson, so I don't know what's going on in Branson, but I guess they're producing some kickers around there. So both of them are kickoff and PAT field goal specialists, and so it'll be fun seeing them out there. And Noah got a few kicks last year during the year. Justice is a true freshman coming in there in here this year, so they're competing for the spot. At the punting position right now, we're going to probably start off with Sammy Morton. That's going to end up starting punting for us right now, who is an all-conference linebacker for us. But believe it or not, Sammy, when he puts his foot on the ball, man, it can fly. And then we got quite a few guys that can deep snap. Sometimes people forget about those guys that are deep snappers. We had a young man named Garrett Bills that was here that played for us for 3 straight years, and he's an he was not a guy that you really talked about a lot because he didn't make bad snaps. Well, you usually talk about the long snapper when he makes a poor snap, and he didn't have very many of those bad snaps throughout his career. So we're gonna have to replace him, which is big. And then our coaching staff has done a great job of really developing our punt team, our punt block team, our kickoff return team, and then of course our field goal and PAT and field goal PAT block. And we take a lot of pride in it, and we just try to get them to perfect their job and get out there and play well.
We're going to chat about the coaching staff, the defensive side after we grab a cup of coffee. This is the 2019 Hart Media Day. So we've got a cup of coffee here, and we're headed back to campus. Coach Hepola. Coach, defense has been just outstanding the last couple of seasons for you. You've had, Defensive Player of the Year the last 2 years. Both of them have been All-Americans. First with Josh Evans, Andre Smoller last season. Again, it starts up front. Both of them were, kind of that hybrid man up front on the end, and kind of how do you replace Andreas this season, and what do you look like kind of up front from the defense?
Yeah, that was the same question that was asked to us after Josh Evans graduated. People were saying, how are you going to replace Josh Evans? And I ain't going to lie to you, there are times where I thought, well, that's a tough question. And so, but then Dre Smoller steps up and just plays lights out. And was named an All-American, had a great season. In fact, probably one of the best seasons maybe in the history of Evangel football for a guy up front. He just flat out played. But our coaching staff, the defensive coaching staff does a great job preparing our guys for the kind of the next man up mentality. We talk about that all the time because we tell every player they're an injury, an incident, or a coach's decision away from playing. So you have to be ready to go because you just don't know when your opportunity is going to rise. And so from there, it's good to see how well our defensive staff does that. But yeah, up front, Will Anawahi is a young man that got a lot of playing time as a true freshman last year, a local player from Kickapoo. You've got Miles Williams, who's played quite a bit. He's one of the interior guys. Dominic Swillem is a young man that will play the same position that Josh Evans played when he was an All-American here. And Dominic has transferred from Mid-American Nazarene. He led the conference for 2 years in tackling. Just an outstanding player, outstanding motor. Great kid, local kid from Mount Vernon. And then we got quite a few other guys that have played quite a bit, up front that will rotate in, and we'll just see what happens. But we'll play quite a few of those guys up front. And then our linebackers, we're in pretty good shape with Sam Morton being an all-conference player. Tristan Shepard's played quite a bit inside at the linebacker position and a little bit outside linebacker as well. Of course, then our back end, you've got 2 all-conference safeties that are returning, and really a third guy that could easily have been an all-conference player if he didn't have some injuries. And the one I'm talking about with the injuries was Dalton Taylor. But Micah Daniels and Drew Poppin, are first-team all-conference safeties back there. So, and then at the corner position, we've got a few guys that Anthony LaVerfon is returning to our team. We've moved Jacob Ead into the quarter position, and then we've got a couple of young corners that redshirted last year that have a lot of talent. And so it'll be fun to see them get out and really go man-to-man, mano-a-mano with the guys that they're going against. And so, again, I expect big things from our defensive coaches and defensive team. And it's just really kind of the expectation we have at our place. We say perfection is our goal, but excellence will be tolerated. So that means the offense, that means the defense, that means special teams. So it doesn't matter what phase you're in, that's what we're expecting.
Going to being an Evangel grad and living here in Springfield the last few years, even leaving, coming back, as we're kind of driving through Springfield right now, what are some of your favorite things to recruit? When you're out recruiting kids, obviously to the football program, they're going to spend so much of their life, being a part of. But Evangel University in Springfield, they offer so many things, and for someone that grew up here myself, I've got things that are fun for me. But what are those things when you're out on the recruiting trail?
Yeah, first of all, you're going to recruit the university, and obviously we've got an excellent university that provides an excellent degree. There's a lot of successful people living across this world, not just this country, that graduated from Evangel that are going out and doing outstanding things. So we have a lot of degree plans that we sell, at our university. In fact, you look at it, and I don't know of one degree plan that's a weak, what you would consider a weak degree plan. I mean, they're going to get an excellent degree. Then we're going to obviously going to sell our team. We've got a great group of young men, and we've got a great coaching staff. And so the type of people that they're going to be around, from their teammates to their coaches to our support staff, to, again, like I said, our instructors and professors, they're just going to be around solid people. And then the city itself, I mean, third largest city in the state of Missouri behind Kansas City and St. Louis. There is plenty of stuff to do here. I mean, you've got obviously the main Bass Pro Shops that people are going to go and check out. You've got Branson that's close. You've got outlet malls. You've got lakes. You've got caves. You've got places to fish. You've got places to water ski if you choose to do that kind of stuff. You got places to hunt, because we've got a lot of guys that'll come from small towns that like to hunt. So there's a lot of stuff to do, and I'll be honest with you, if you can't find something to do, you ain't looking very hard. So you gotta, and of course, Springfield Cardinals. I mean, we got a Double-A baseball team here, and so and they're playing, when the school year is still going on. So in the spring, our kids can get out and watch them play, or during the fall, they can finish it as they're finishing up their season. Get out and watch them play. So there's quite a bit of stuff for kids to do when they're here, and so they're not coming to just a small town where there's not a whole lot for them to do. And so I think we have a lot to sell here, at Evangel in the city of Springfield.
Coach, one more question. We're almost back here to Evangel, and we've got this coffee and been able to kind of enjoy the day for media day here. Just to get to know you a little bit, personality-wise. If you could pick to have lunch, one historical figure, one sports figure, who would those people be that you would sit down and have lunch with?
I used to be a history teacher. I don't know if you knew that, but that's free of charge knowledge. You don't even need to pay me for that one. But so I love history, and I love to think about some of those historical figures that have been in the past. One guy that comes to my mind right off the bat would just be, from a historical perspective, would be Martin Luther King Jr. And I would love to sit down with a man like that, because as a head coach, leadership is a really big deal to me, and he's considered one of the greatest leaders ever. And I'd love to be able to sit down and pick his brain, because he was living in a tough time in our country, but yet he stood by his convictions. And in fact, this morning we were talking to our team about how you don't live your life on emotions, you live your life on convictions. And what that typically means is, convictions means when you commit to something, you let all emotions aside. And I saw a man like that lived his life based off convictions and his commitment to trying to make a better life for everybody. And so I'd love to talk to a guy like that. Michael Jordan would be another guy I would love to sit down with, because what a guy that was really into the fundamentals. I mean, he's the one of greatest of all time. A lot of the young people now, they see LeBron, and I think LeBron's an awfully good basketball player. There's no doubt about it. But I also got to see Michael Jordan play, and Michael Jordan was the real deal. In fact, I think he was a 10-time scoring champion. But what people forget is he was really good on defense too. And but he was what made him good was he was just so fundamentally sound. And we talked to our team about being fundamentally sound. And I use a lot of quotes during the year from Michael Jordan when we're talking to our team about our certain culture that we have. And so I'd love to eat dinner with those two guys. Of course, there's quite a few other people I love to eat dinner. So it doesn't matter. I could I could even eat by myself. I like it that much. So it's fun.
Well, maybe we can continue this a little bit. Coach, one last question here. We're back on campus. You guys kind of get going. Heart of America kind of shapes up a little bit differently this year, with Benedictine moving to the south, kind of taking that spot that Avila left and was a bye week last week,
right.
or last season, excuse me. What's kind of your outlook on the conference, and kind of how you go forward, starting to prepare August 31st at William Penn?
Yeah, first of all, our conference from the North Division to the South Division is one of the best in the country. And some people would say that's debatable, but the people that are debating that have not seen the teams play in our conference, and the type of teams that we have. But yeah, the fact that Benedictine's coming over to our side, the South, the South Division. I mean, you've got 3 teams right now in the South Division that are in the top 25 preseason, and so you've got some really, really good ball clubs. Not taking anything away from the North, because they're excellent too. But you look at that South Division from top to bottom. I mean, if you look at the preseason rankings, I mean that's some pretty good teams right there. And there's a lot of teams in our conference that have improved. And man, we're just going to all have to bring our A game weekly. And you're right, starting with William Penn. William Penn's receiving votes in the top 25, so somebody is recognizing them as a pretty solid football program. Of course, we already knew that ahead of time, and but we're going to have to get out there and play well on the 31st in Iowa, and hopefully we can come out on top.
Evangel starts their season August 31st at William Penn. Coach, still in the middle of practice, so
Yep.
Right back out here, practice getting ready to kick back off this afternoon. Thanks for joining us on
Appreciate
Media
it.
Day.
Thank you much.